Okay, so I'm going to call Foundation Studies Etude 1. I don't know what they're going to call it at Region, but that's what we're going to call it for our purposes. So I'm going to put a 1 on it. I like it, so I'm going to put a 1 on it. Okay, Beyonce style. And then the shifting one I'm going to call number 2 for various reasons. Okay? That one is the interesting one. So what I'd like to do is kind of split even time between each one. So I want to start with number 1. That one's a little bit easier, just a little bit, but I want to see how far we can get. So if you've watched the tutorials that I've put up, you know I've gotten through lines 1 and 2 on the other one, but I haven't recorded anything on this one yet. So now we will have a recording because I'm recording it right now. So, but don't worry, it's not you guys, it's just my crazy face, okay? Maybe I should put some light on so that they can, so that I don't look like death. All right, yes. I put it to the side because it was blinding me all day. All right, guys. So on Etude 1, Foundation Studies, we're in C major. This one's harmless because we're really only going to 3rd position. So it's very much more melodic and pretty. So I want to do each note separate at first, and then we'll try to add in the bowing. Okay, so let's just play open G, A, B, C, and remember B and C touch, and then E, G, and low 2 for C. Good. Hi, Autumn. Come in. Find a seat. Welcome. Welcome, my ducklings. All right, so, yep, pick a seat, any seat. Okay, I'm just writing down who was here. So we are working on the Foundation Studies, which I am calling number 1. Okay, so now let's slur it. So the first 2 eighth notes, or the first part of the measure is going to be down bow, and the last part's going to be up bow. Yes. Yes, C natural. Ready? And go now. Good. No matter what tempo you take, make sure you're really careful not to rush the quarter note. That's going to be like an underlying theme of this one. Every time I've heard people play this one at Region, they always rush the quarter notes and they always rush the half notes. So if you can keep those in tempo, you're already one step ahead of most kids because they're going to try to rush that. Okay? Now let's look at the next measure. Still going our nice slow tempo. So now we're going to go to 3rd position after we play B. So I want you to imagine each 8th note gets part of your bow. Okay, but leave a little bit at the tip of the bow so you have room to change bows. Okay? So here we go. Ready, and go. Okay, so you're going to play B and then shift to D with first finger. So 1, 1, 3, 2. And it is F natural, so you're going to tuck that 3rd finger in. Okay, ready, go. I almost ran out of bow. Let's do that again. It's a little easier up to tempo. Ready, and go. Okay, let's do that. Play the B, guys. Now shift to D. Check your open D. Those should match. Now F natural. So it's 3rd finger. Good. And over on your E string, 2nd finger is actually going to touch 3rd. Okay? So if you're on your E string and your F natural, they're right next to each other, but one's on the E string and one's on the A string. And that's how you'll know it's in tune. There's B. And then D is 4. Okay, I got a text from one of the kiddos. Hang on. So go ahead and practice that for just a second. Let me see who this is. Come on, text message. Somebody's like, I'm here for tuning, but I'm like, I'm teaching right now. Okay, so here we go. So let's do that again, kind of in a tempo. Okay, so those 4/8 notes take up your whole bow. Ready and go now. Okay, so the B and the D are on A string, and then third finger, third position. And then you go over to E string for 2, which is B, and it's right next to the F on your A string. They're right next to each other. And then D is fourth finger. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to pause my video just for a second because I gotta go help. All right, so we are gonna look at let's look at third measure. So we're already in third position. So find that really high note. So it's fourth finger on the E string, third position. Then the next note's going to be second finger. And then go to your A string and play 4. And then 3. And then 1. Now shift back. I changed the fingering there because it's easier to shift 1-1 than 3-3. Yeah, it's a little easier. So let's do that again. Find high D. Two. Now go to your A string and play 4. 3. 1. Now shift back. 1. And then 2. So it's low 2. So make sure you get F natural, okay? So let's try that in a rhythm. So it's going to be down bow, and you're going to use all of it. And you're going to do the end of the measure from the tip of the bow. I shifted too crazy. Okay, ready? Ready, and go now. Okay, so save your bow at the beginning of those eighth notes. Okay, so you have every little bit of it to get you to the front. Okay, so let's try that again. Ready, and use your whole bow here. Okay, guys, that's a quarter note, so don't rush that first note. Hold it out. Ready, and go. Okay, so hold that out. And then the next measure is all in first position. But because you are good little ducklings, you're not going to play open A there. You're going to play fourth finger. Ready? Yep. Each part of your bow gets an eighth note. Ready? And go. Use more bow. Try it again. Ready? And go now. Down, up. Ready? And go now. Excellent, guys. All right, so do we all know how to practice the first line? Okay, good. So now we're going to put a tempo on it. Okay, and I'm going to put it on a very slow tempo because you don't want to practice fast until you feel comfortable with all the shifts and everything. Okay, let me get to, oh, there's a perfect tempo. Here we go. We're going to play the first line. This is 55, guys. We're not going fast. Start lower in your bow so you have more room. Ready, and go. Okay, let's think about this again. Listen to the tempo. So it's gonna go 1, 2, tay, 3, tay, 4, tay, 1, tay. Okay, and I'll stop there. No one wants me to hear it. No one wants to hear that. Okay, ready? And go right now. Okay, Autumn, you gotta remember to switch bow directions. Hey, Mr. Jones, Luke needs some tuning, and he is out in his car, and like he forgot about sectionals today. So, and you're gonna have some more kids that show up this afternoon, but these guys are getting spoiled, and I'm just recording the sectional. So I told Luke to come up to the door so that you could tune him.
Okay.
Yeah, because Luke he forgot about sectionals this morning. All right, here we go, guys. So I want you to use every little bitty bit of your bow. Okay, so each measure is split into down bow and up bow. Ready? And go right now. Good. Hey, you know what? That might be fast for right now. So you can slow it down, okay? There's no shame in the game, okay? So if you need to go slower than that, put it at 40. But I do want you to practice it with the correct bowings, because you got to start that right away. Because if you practice bad habits, like the wrong bowings and stuff, that kind of sticks in, and then you end up never learning them correctly. So the good bowings from the start is important. All right, now the next part repeats. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's exactly the same, right? Measure 6 is a little different, so let's look at that one. Yep. Right, let's do note by note. So it's open A. You can play open there because it says. Now third position. 3. And then A is 1. And then D is 4. Good. Then you stay in third position. Okay? So if D is 4, B is 2. Good. Now you're going to go to your A string and play 4 for G. 3. 1. And then E is 2. Now you're going to go to your D string and play C natural with 4. And then G is 1. Then you go to your G string and play E with third finger. And then D is 2. Okay? So it's a matter of thinking about the shifts. Now, Max, did Mr. Jones give you the one with my fingers on it that I wrote in? Okay, so yeah, okay. So I literally put all the fingerings in there to help you out with that. So let's do that again. Here's measure 7. Here's measure 7. So B is going to be second finger. Good. Now the next 4 notes are going to be on your A string in third position, okay? So G is 4. 3 is F. 1 is D. E is 2. Good. The next 3 notes are going to be on your D string in third position. 4. 1. E is third finger. And D is second finger. Okay? And then you just kind of stay there in third position. So After you play D with second finger, you're going to go back on the G string, okay? You're going to go back to the D string, and you're going to play G, B, A with 1, 3, 2. So let's do that. Here's G, first finger. B is third finger. And A is going to be right next to it, touching third finger. And then G is 1. And then, merciful heavens, you get to play open D. And while you're playing open D, you're going to shift down to first position. And then, guess what? Measure 9 and 10 are exactly like the first two measures of this whole piece. Okay? So we good so far? Okay, kinda, sorta. Do you know how to practice it, Max-ish? Okay, I can write some stuff to help you on that too. All right, so I'm going to skip ahead because 11 and 12 are like those several measures at the beginning. They're the same. So I want you to look at measure 13. This is when the finger pattern changes a little bit, okay? So you are actually going to have high 3 in this measure. So you're going to stretch third finger. So it's going to be a nice yellow pattern. So third finger stretches in that measure, but second finger on the D string is still low. Okay, so play A, guys, first finger. B, C sharp, D, F, open A, D. Next measure B, G, A, B, C natural. Now you're going to shift to third position. So E is 2. Good. Now, if you're at home and you're like, how does that note sound again? I don't remember how it sounds. You can play open E. Okay? So, yep. And it's all in third position. So the highest note you could possibly play on this whole piece is fourth finger on the E string in third position. So this one is really pretty mild. And if you spend time going note by note with the stuff I put in there, you won't have any problems at all with this one. This one is one of the most reasonable region etudes I've seen in a long time. Like, this is good, okay? And I'm going to tell you guys, if you want to try out for region, this is your year. Okay? Because next year is going to go back to normal. This year is awesome because you don't have to play in front of a panel of judges in person. You won't be in a classroom full of kids. You're literally at home recording your etudes by yourself, and then you submit them. It's like the best. Okay? It's so much better. It's so much better than real life. Okay? So that's the one good thing about the pandemic, right? Made region auditions less stressful, okay? So I even liked it as a judge. So I was judging high school piano and harp, which was awesome in the first place because I heard a max of like 11 kids. Okay, so that was kind of nice. So I had an etude for each. And I was at home judging it in my pajamas, y'all. I was drinking my coffee. I was judging in my pajamas. So it's happy for everybody. Okay, so this crazy finger pattern just lasts, well, just anytime you see C sharp, just make sure you extend, okay? So, I want to switch to the other one, okay? So you guys should be able to practice the first 3 lines of foundation studies by yourself, okay? So let's go to what I'm calling number 2, the shifting etude. Okay, and you might notice, guys, that, Michael, calm thyself. You might notice that I have highlighted so many things all over my page. The reason I do that is because there are so many shifts on this one. I want to keep track of them. So I highlight every time I have to shift. So, as you could tell, that's a lot of shifts, okay? So, let's start with the first measure though, right? One thing at a time. First measure. So I want to go really slow. I want to think 1, 2, super slow. Ready? And go now. Aha! Aha! So, do you guys see that little arc over that note? The little arc? That means you're going to stretch your fourth finger. So it sounds like this. So basically, instead of you having to go to your E string, they made it easier for you. You're playing F natural, but you don't have to leave the A string. They made it easier for you, so you don't have to cross strings. How lovely of them, considering they put 75 shifts to whatever position in here. You know, at least they gave you the one note, right? Okay, so let's do that again. Ready, super slow, go. Freeze! And make sure you play C natural, guys. This one is also in C major, so everything's low. So after you play second finger low, you're going to shift to fourth position. So listen to it. Good, good. So you have to super relax your thumb, otherwise you won't be able to play your shift in tune. Da, da. There it is. Good. So E is first finger now. So E, if E is first finger, what finger is G? Third. Okay. Good. And you can match it with open G to make sure you're in tune. Okay, so here's G. Then the next note, we're going to go over to our E string and play C natural. And then B is going to be first finger. And then we're going to stretch. Good. Then D is third finger. And then B is first finger. And then C is second finger. So guys, it's exactly an octave higher than the first measure. Okay? Okay, so if you're having trouble hearing those higher notes, play them in the lower position first. Okay? So, look at measure 3. Okay, so we're going to play C natural with second finger. Then E with 4. Then B with 1. Then C natural with 2. Do that again. B or C, E, B, C. And good news, we're going to go to first position. Good. So, time out. So the whole rest of that line, Autumn, the whole rest of that first line is in first position. And all you have to remember is low 2 on the A string. Okay? You guys don't need me to walk you through those notes. Okay? So you need to practice them slowly, 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 one at a time. But I want to get to the next line because this is probably something you guys haven't done before. Second position. Okay? So, like, it didn't take a rocket scientist to set up hand positions on the violin. First finger, first position. Okay? Second position is when first finger goes or second finger normally goes. Okay? So you have to judge by your finger pattern whether that's low, second, like if you're playing a flat first or a natural. So actually, it's just a regular old second finger on the G string. So your first finger is going to go on the tape there. So it's going to be G, and then B, and then D. It sounds like the, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Blue Danube Waltz. Ba, 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 those three notes, if you play them in tune, they sound like the Blue Danube Waltz. Okay? So here's open G. And here's first finger B now. Make sure your thumb is across from your first finger. And D is going to be third finger. Good. Now, guys, right next to, so your first finger is set up to where it's where second finger normally is. G is going to be second finger on the D string. They're going to be really close. Okay? So I have my first finger set up on B, and my second finger is on G, but on the D string. Okay? So it looks like I'm like covering my head. Okay? So find G, second finger. Good. Right next to that on the D string is going to be F sharp. Then you got another little stretchy. That's what I'm going to call them. Good. You should feel a slight pinch here, right here, when you're stretching. It shouldn't hurt, but you should feel the stretch. Okay? So let's do that again. Play open G. B with first finger. D. Next is G on the D string. And then F sharp is right next to it with 1. Stretch. A is third finger. F sharp is 1. G is 2. Good. Okay? So, good. So then we stay in second position. Okay, so measure 6, we're still in second position. So find G with second finger. And you can test it with your open G to make sure you got it in tune. Good. Now, when you go to, when you actually go to record, the easiest way to check and see if you're in tune is just to push the finger down. Okay, you're not going to go, I'm in tune, I'm ready to go. Okay? All right, so here's G with second finger. B is 4. Good. D is 2 on the A string. Now, here's where it changes. You're going to go over to your E string and play G with first finger. Don't squish it. Okay, so listen. Ready? So here's G with second finger. Here's B with 4. D with 2. G with 1. Good. Now, so when you started second position, your first finger was on the tape, okay? But to play G, remember G is always low 2 on the E string, and in keys where you don't have any, like when you have less than 3 sharps, you're going to have low 2 on the E string. So that's going to actually be a low 1 there. So if you want to draw a little down arrow or something to help you remember it's low, you can. Okay? Now, after you play the G with first finger, right next to it, literally touching, you go back to first position. Watch. So close. Okay? It's literally jaws. It's a half step. Okay? So then you go back to first position, and you got another little stretchy thing. You really have to anchor your first finger on them and don't let it move when you stretch your 4. Because it could pull your whole hand out of tune. Yeah, okay? And you don't want that to happen. Okay? So, after you go to first position, which you guys can practice that by yourself, okay? Then in measure 7, we go to third position. Okay? So your first note in that measure is a G in first position. And then you shift. And it is precisely an octave higher than how you started the line. G, B, D. Okay? Go ahead, try it by yourself. Go ahead. G, B, D. 2, 2, 4. 2, 2. Good. Okay. So, time out. So I put those little triangles in there for you guys. Those are actually half step symbols. I did not get them on every single half step you're going to play, but I threw them in there to help you, especially on the high notes. So if you see the triangle, that means those fingers touch. Okay? So when we're in measure 7, first position, shift, C and B touch. Okay? They're half step. So find the G. Shift to B. D. D with 4, then C is 3. B is 2. A is 1. Now go over to your A string, G is 4. And right next to it is F sharp. And then we're going to go down to F natural. And then E is right next to it. Okay, so that is a chromatic pattern because we have a series of half steps there. G to F sharp is a half step. F sharp to F is a half step. F to E is a half step. So it actually sounds really cool. Okay, so we actually got really pretty far today. So next time we have sectionals, like next week, I want to keep going on this. But if you look ahead, it's not going to hurt my feelings at all. So maybe highlight where your shifts are. Okay, super slow practicing, guys, but try to do it in a rhythm. Okay, all right. So I'm going to stop.